Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is Game on Cloud 9 here, and I'm here to bring you guys a new Bleach chapter 519 prediction. Now, before I get started on the prediction, I just to say, yes, this is a different camera that I'm using. I know a lot of you guys are used to me standing up and doing my videos, and you may even have noticed that the quality of the camera looks different, like a lot worse or whatnot, and that's mainly due to the fact that I have to use my webcam since my tripod isn't working. Well, I shouldn't say working, but one of the legs is messed up on my tripod, and I have to fix that in order for me to be able to do my reviews as I normally do. So next week you'll probably see me standing up once again, but that's mainly the reason why I'm sitting down and doing this review right now. But anyway, this week's chapter of Bleach was nothing but awesomeness. I mean, if you haven't looked at a Bleach chapter in a long time, then and you wonder, man, should I get back into Bleach? I don't know. Like Bleach is or whatever. I mean, this definitely is. If you're looking for a good plot twist, something that you do not expect, this definitely is the chapter because I mean, it was just nothing but like pretty much, it gave the birth to different theories that a person could have. Like you can come up with different things after looking at this chapter. Like, you look at some series once they start coming to a close, it leaves less and less room for theories. But Bleach is coming to a close, and we still have all these different things that are being thrown at us and different plot twists that are happening that are enabling us as the fans to still be able to think on our feet and wonder what's going on, keeping a lot of mystery there. So I'm really liking what's going on right now in Bleach. But mainly, I'm just going to start off, of course, with the beginning of the chapter. We see Urahara, of course, talking to Ichigo and the whole group, the Royal Guard. So we find out, of course, it wasn't Ishin that was on the other end, nor was it Grimjo exactly. But we end up seeing Urahara talking. He's talking through Cone. Most of what Urahara is saying doesn't really seem too important at the time. But basically, we see Orihime, Chad with him, and one of the things that sticks out, or I guess you could say that what's probably the whole importance of the scene, is that we hear a voice in the background talking and saying, "Is that Kurosaki, that shit stain?" And then Ichigo's like, "That voice, it's him or whatnot." So Ichigo knows who it is, and us as the fans have to know who this is. It's Grimjo. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Ichigo knows it. He's even wondering, is he still a threat? And Urahara's like, "No, don't worry, he's not a threat anymore." So I mean, at this point, you already know. Like now, what I'm wondering is what deal Urahara made with Grimjo, because that's a big factor. I mean, because why would like Grimjo, all people, ally with anybody? Although he probably, since Quako Munda got taken over, it probably doesn't give him room to be able to actually be king, as we all know he wants to be. Because it seems like there's several characters in the Bleach series for some reason that are obsessed with being like king, and Grimjo was one of them. We know Grimjo, Hollow Ichigo. Who else? I know. Well, I mean, of course, there was the King of Hueco Mundo, who at one point was king. So, I mean, you have several different characters that love being like the top dog, and Grimjo definitely is one of them. So, I don't know if maybe something, he made a cut a deal, something dealing with, Grimjo wanting to be king or something along the lines of there. But pretty much Grimjo is now obviously working with them. I mean, we haven't seen him yet, which I just want Kubo to show him. I want to see what his new character design looks like. I want to see how beastly he is. Obviously, I don't think he got too much stronger over a year and a half's time. I mean, that's not really that much time, or even 2 years' time, because maybe 2 years now, who knows? Because, it may have been a few months since Ichigo has gotten his powers back now. You don't know exactly how much time has passed, but, I definitely couldn't see, like, Grimjo, because I mean, if you look at the time passing with different souls, like in Soul Society or Hollows, I mean, it takes hundreds of years for Shinigami to be able to unlock Bankai usually, unless they do it through the special training, of course, that Ichigo went through. So, and I think it's probably similar with the Arankar. So I definitely don't see Grimjo getting that much more powerful over a year and a half's time. But probably after that part of the chapter, of course, which is an awesome part of the chapter that I really love, we get to the part dealing with Tenza Zangetsu. When Ichigo is talking with the Royal Guard member, he's like, I can actually help you out. I can help you. I can't help you fix Tenza Zangetsu, but there's a technique where we can try to reforge it and make it close to what it used to be. So, in other words, this is supposed to be this special rage jutsu or whatever that you can only use in the royal palace. Now, how we know this rage jutsu is conducted, that hasn't been explained yet. We don't know who does it or performs it. It could be the Spirit King. It could be the Royal Guard members themselves, and maybe they have to use. I don't know if maybe the Reishi, and if somehow it's more powerful, and and where the king is or whatnot. I don't know if maybe it enhances their own abilities in some type of way, because we know in Soul Society Shinigani's abilities are more powerful. So maybe when they go to, like, let's say the royal palace, they're even more powerful. Who knows what's going on? But basically Ichigo is going to get somewhat of a new sword. Now if the abilities are going to be better or worse, who knows? But hopefully he gets a new move altogether, or at least, he can use Getsuga Tensho, but I want him to get one other new move. This would be a perfect opportunity for him to get that. Although I was thinking that he was going to use his Quincy abilities to actually be able to learn how to reforge the sword, but it doesn't seem like Kubo is going to go that route right now. So it doesn't seem that way, but hopefully, whatever Ichigo gets is still going to be pretty awesome. I mean, definitely don't want him to get his blade to be, kind of janky or worse than what it already is. I'm not saying his blade is bad because I like Ichigo, but I want Ichigo to. I guess you could say, like, I'm looking forward to seeing him reach that level of power that he once was at when we saw him fight against Aizen. When he was just blowing away mountains. I mean, that's probably not going to happen too soon. That'll probably happen towards the end of the arc, but I mean, I definitely want to see him reach that height of power once again. But yeah, so that part of the chapter, of course, Ichigo doing that, he agreed to go ahead and go along with the Royal Guard members. And then we get to the part where we make it to the Shiba clan's family, or you can say, or the Shiba clan, whatever. Forgot what her name is. I think her name is Kukaku. The girl, or the woman, I should say, that she fired Ichigo and their entire crew over in the Soul Society one time, and of course that's Ganju's sister. They end up approaching her, telling her, I guess it's her job for the Royal Guard when they come down to send them back up through their little pillar that they have, because I guess once the pillar comes down, it can only basically come right back up if they actually fire it back off again. So they end up going to her. Ichigo's asking, hey, what happened to Ganju? And where's Ganju? She's saying, oh, it's just a statue. And we all know, okay, that's not Ganju. I mean, she's just lying her ass off. So of course, after that scene, after Ichigo and them get in the little cannon and fire off, Kukaku says some really strange stuff where where she's talking to Ganju. Actually, we see Ganju walk up, but well, actually, we don't see him at first. But she's talking with Ganju, and saying that we had to let him go to Soul Society. Because if we didn't let him go to Soul Society, everything, or not let him go to Soul Society, let him go to the palace, because if we didn't, then basically everything would be destroyed. And then one thing that she says, in particular, is that, even if it meant that she had to disappoint her uncle. So I'm kind of wondering about that. Like, is she talking about Ishin, which I'm definitely thinking is the case? Like, is Ishin somehow related to the Shiba clan? Is Ichigo related to the Shiba clan? Are Ichigo and Ganju cousins? Which seems like a pretty big possibility at this point once she said that, because, who else would she be disappointing? I mean, could it be Juha? I doubt it's Juha, because, I mean, Juha seems like he has something to do with maybe Ichigo's mother's side or whatnot. So I don't see, Juha having a connection with, like, Kukaku. But Ichigo, of course, we know that he has a resemblance to Kaien, so it wouldn't be too far fetched for Ishin to be related to the Shiba clan, and maybe that's who Kukaku's speaking of. But definitely, though, I mean, that part of the chapter, was very important. Definitely leaves a lot of room. I do think that maybe she is related to Ishin. Maybe that's his niece. So I do think that's a good possibility right now. But the next part of the chapter, which was just the amazing plot twist that I loved, like, just love, 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 is the fact that when we saw Ganju. Well, first I have to say Ganju was looking pretty badass. Like, I've never thought I would say that about Ganju. When you look at Ganju in the past, Ganju to me wasn't really that sweet. So hopefully he has some more powerful abilities now. But we saw the full bringers, execution, I guess you could say. We saw them come back, and we don't know how much stronger they've gotten, but just the fact that they were showing up, I did not expect that at all. I did not expect to see Tsukushima ever again, Giriko ever again, or Genjo, especially Genjo. I thought they're gone, they're out of here, they were just for that arc. And now that they're back, I feel as though, what role are they going to play in this arc? And now some things are starting to make more sense, such as why we never got a backstory on Tsukushima and Genjo. And I'm like, now we're probably eventually going to get that full backstory of what's going on with them. But I'm glad that they're back in a sense that it's going to make everything a lot more interesting, as far as this entire arc goes, because I wonder what their role will be. I mean, likelihood is I think they're going to be helping the Shinigami, even though we know how Genjo is about Soul Society and all that. I mean, I can't see them being, doing their own thing. Genjo is definitely isn't the place to be doing that right now. I mean, you have some pretty serious foes out here right now, and I don't think he could really compete with some of the stronger ones, such as like Hajvald or Juhabak. So I don't see him getting in the mix with that. So I don't know what role he's going to play exactly. I mean, honestly, I think it is going to be for the Soul Society. And on one hand, when you look at the Fullbringers, you don't really think off rip that they would really be effective looking at their abilities. Like, I mean, even though Tsukishima, he's pretty strong. And, Genjo, he's okay. But if you look at Giriko, you're like, oh, come on now. Like, he wasn't that powerful at all to me. I mean, Kenpachi, like, literally cut him in half, not even trying. Not even using, taking off his eye patch or anything. Just one slash. No kendo, nothing. So, I mean, Giriko, I don't know what he can really do in this. But, I'm like, I'll say that they actually probably can be kind of effective for the pure reason that, think about it, the Shinigami right now really could use the Arankar and the Fullbringers' help in a sense that their Bankais are getting stolen. But I doubt the Quincy's can actually take a Fullbringer's powers away or take a Arankar's a Resurrection away. So I do think that having other sources come in definitely will help them be more effective in battle. So I definitely do see Genjo being kind of effective, and as well as Tsukushima. And I'm kind of excited to see how Fullbringer compares with a Quincy in fighting capabilities, like how their fight would go. So since both of them are humans and they have different types of abilities, but yeah, I'm like that has to be the best part of the chapter. I mean, that was to me the best surprise out of the week out of any manga. I mean, I loved this Bleach chapter was just nothing but awesomeness when I saw that. I mean, of course, when the chapter ended or whatnot, I mean, there wasn't really much else that happened. In fact, I think that was the end, except for the fact that we saw Ichigo show up to the Spirit Palace. Now, the Spirit Palace didn't really look anything impressive per se, but it had I guess a simple, nice design. Nothing like out of this world that we saw. We haven't seen the inside yet, so I don't really know what to think of it yet. But definitely am looking forward to next week's chapter. As for next week's chapter, I think it will be straightforward, and Ichigo will be going into the Spirit Palace, and we'll see a little bit of it, maybe hear a few things about it, a few different facts that maybe we didn't know about the Spirit Palace. The only thing that's kind of throwing me off right now, which obviously is going to be explained at some point in time, is why Aizen harped on the King's Key so much, and why he wanted the King's Key. Because I doubt Kubo would just throw that in there, him wanting it for no reason. Like, I'm wondering if maybe you need the King's Key to get into the room of the Spirit King, walk in there, or what. It has to be something special because, it seems as though getting to the palace itself is nothing really. But I'm also wondering if maybe the little pillar they're in somehow is kind of like the King's Key in a way. Maybe when they fire it up into the sky, it takes them into the other dimension in some shape, way, or form. Some kind of like a spaceship. Because otherwise, I don't really see as why Aizen was just harping on King's Key, when all he needed to do was fly up in the sky. But again, obviously more to it. Definitely next week is going to be straightforward, pretty much. I'm assuming it is, but Kubo could throw us another plot twist, which I love it when authors do plot twists. So I got to give Kubo, a thumbs up and a round of applause. I expect this kind of stuff from Kubo. I mean, I've always said Kubo is a great writer. Unlike a lot of other people on YouTube, I know a lot of people say, "Oh, Kubo is a shitty writer, bad writer." I'm like, man, no, you cannot say. Nobody expected the Fullbringers, or if you even had theories about it, there was no accurate way to actually be able to say, "Oh, they're coming back," because Kubo really did give an excellent plot twist with this. I mean, I loved it. Want to see them do a lot in this arc. Give them more of an importance into the story other than just Ichigo getting his powers back. So hopefully, next week's chapter will be an excellent chapter, which I do expect. And I hope you guys enjoyed this prediction / review. Give me your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section. So if you like this video, please put a thumbs up. And if you didn't like this video, you can put a thumbs down. The choice is yours, guys. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you do enjoy watching my content and you would like to continue watching it. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.